Hey, what's up, guys? I want to go over BBIG today. This was a really good setup in terms of, the chart and the price action. Unfortunately, it didn't give us, a morning spike to really size in, so you had to be quick or you had to do this pre-market. Um, but basically, I'm looking at, um, let's take the daily. And way back here, we can see that this ran on a lot of volume, 300 million some days, from about $2, two and a half, yeah, from about $2 to about $12, and then came all the way back down to $2. Um, this time, back here, this company, was I think probably like a 10 million float, and then they used this run up to sell stock. So after this move, this went from 10 million float to 100 million float. Now they still have plenty of dilution that they're able to do. So you can assume that anytime they're going to pop it on volume, they're probably going to sell into it. So they probably sold into it here, and obviously they sold into it here. And you can see that these bounces are going straight up, green days in a row, however many, and then straight down on however many red days without bounces. So, and then this time around, it did the same exact thing. Went straight up on several days without any pullbacks, and then went straight down without any bounces. Um, so now we're kind of in this area of the chart, just zoom in. We've gone from two to, 5.5, and we came all the way back down. And now today we finally gapped up, and we're back into these levels of resistance. And if you look at the intraday chart, we gapped to 390, at the top, right? And if we go into the chart, you can, if you remember, 380 was a very important level, as well as 4. Um, and you can see that this is where it bottomed. $4 was where it bottomed out this time, and as well as 380 over here and over here. So on its way back up, you can assume it's going to have resistance at these levels, and that's exactly what happened, right? We hit 380 pre-market, and we never looked back. The other thing you want to know is that this company is pretty trash. Um, they have a lot of dilution left. So, I mean, yes, there's plenty of room, right? To $6, back up to $6, but realistically, something that's, basically gapped up 30%, or really now it's almost 100% from the bottom of the last low, which was, 215 and then almost $4. So, like an 80% move in the last couple of days on a company that can dilute, and a company that's not a good company. That's a big move, and they're gonna use that move to sell. Now you never know for sure, right? You can't prove that until the next quarterly filing comes out, and then you'll be able to see, the difference between this one and the last one and see how much they've sold. Um, and so that's where you kind of have to do some digging. But so that's kind of just the fundamental analysis of it. And then going into the technical side for today, turn on VWAP. I was looking really for two things that I was saying, in the room pre-market was, at this time I was saying, I really want two things. I want to squeeze off of the open, and then once the squeeze fails, then I'm looking for a bounce, risking high of day. Or the other situation was I was looking for this to fail pre-market, and then I'd be looking for pops, risking pre-market highs. So that was my two trade plans that I'm looking to go off of. So I'll show you guys my executions. I took this in my Guardian account. So let's see. As long as it doesn't show my account number. So you can see I took a starter here in the 360s pre-market. And then after the market opened on this, slight pop, I added more. And I never really got the chance on a bigger pop like back to 360 to really add a lot of size. This happened fairly quick, so um, I wasn't in the amount that I would have liked to be in. And then I basically covered everything all in one shot when it went sub 330 because it was such a quick move and it went right to target, so I just covered and then I said I was gonna hit it again on a bounce, to 340 ideally or higher. We never got 340, but we got like 337, and I mean you can see I pretty much top ticked the bounce, and then when it went back down to made new lows, and then 310 was my target, and so I basically covered at like 312 or something. Um, for the next piece, for the next piece. So all in all, a good trade. Basically, it worked exactly like I wanted it to. From the watch list the night before, because this was, obviously on the watch list the night before, because I saw this setup coming. And then pre-market as well, we talked about it. And then, this was, besides not getting enough size, this was a very easy trade, right? There was no headache. I mean, trading is extremely difficult, but if you do want to rate setups in terms of how difficult or how easy they were, this was extremely easy. At no point was I ever uncomfortable. At no point was I really down any money. Obviously, like it popped a couple cents over my entry on my starter, but again, it doesn't really matter. I'm not looking to top tick every pop or anything, so I'm just looking to ride the trend on this first red day setup. So a sweet setup. Yeah, and that's about it.